Yeah. Just that screen. There we go. Looks a lot better. Song not turn off. There we go. There we go. Now we're live.
We live, baby. Hey. What's up, Joey?
Hello, Coach Crow. How you doing tonight?
I am doing well, man. How are you? You been globetrotting lately.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It has been a wild 3 weeks in my life. We've been in Philly. We've been in Brooklyn. We've been in Queens. We've been in Manhattan. We've been in Long Island. And now we're back in good old Hagerstown.
Yeah, you go to all those exciting places and you settle down in Hagerstown. That's how it goes, though. Sometimes you just need a quiet place to call home.
What can we say? It's always home here in the fourth state.
Yeah, man. So we've been off for 3 weeks. You've been out of town. I had a little procedure in the hospital, so that shut me down last week. Got my COVID shot 1 week. So, we this life just came at us all at one time, but we back, and there's so much going on in the world of SemiPro. But you know how we always start this. What's going on in the world of flag football for you? Where are you going? What's going on? All these tournaments and things like that. How's that shaping up?
Well, right now in the 9-man world, we're getting ready for Atlantic City this upcoming weekend. I, however, will not be in attendance for Atlantic City. We are sending my guy Ross Collins up there, though. He'll be at AC. Really excited for him to get a chance to go up there and film a major event. He'll be with XFFL Productions. They'll have that event. Looking forward to seeing it. My guy Keith Giles, he's got local league games on Saturday. Me, I think I'm going to just sit in the garage, get a couple phones out, get a couple laptops out, and just enjoy all the football going around in the flag world this weekend.
Oh, okay. So guess you got to stay home. You've been traveling, so I guess you need a weekend, huh?
Consider it a bye week.
Indeed. So in the last few weeks, it's been a lot of exciting football going on. First team, I want to talk about a couple individual teams, or I want to talk about a team first. I want to talk about the Southwest Florida Gladiators.
Yes,
cue that up for me.
Yes, sir. The Southwest Florida Gladiators, who made a huge statement over this past weekend.
What was it? Yeah, the weekend or the weekend before. Yeah, they won their third FFA championship, or league championship rather, this past weekend, besting the South Florida Wolverines. And this is significant because actually this is the second time they beat the Wolverines in a championship game. It's one of those things where, you kind of know what's going to happen because you've seen it before, but you really want to say maybe, just maybe, the Wolverines got enough to pull it off. And they gave them a go, but at the end of the day, Southwest Florida Gladiators, out of that Tampa Bay, I think it's called Bremerton. I can never get that area right, but out of the Tampa Bay area, basically, again, with their third league championship. So congratulations to them, Coach Derek, and their whole staff, for another championship season well played. And this really just set the tone for these nationals coming up. And of course, they're going to they will probably most likely get a bid to nationals this year. As in, if you queue up the ranking cards, they are currently number one in the 3A rankings right now. So they're number one in the 3A rankings. They're the first champion of the spring. I know there's a few other leagues that crown champions, but we don't, those leagues were not tracked throughout the course of the season. We got their stuff late. So
and there's a few teams who crowned themselves champions.
So Southwest Florida Gladiators, like I said, it's pretty much a done deal. These guys will be getting a bid to Sunshine Bowl in DC. However, will they stay number one? We don't know, right? Because there's still quite a few undefeated teams left in the field. I mean, you got the Unconquered Cobras out of the APDFL. You got the Dallas Prime, who I think is probably playing the best football right now, out of Dallas, Texas, actually, and a Tufa league. And then you got the Wolfpack out of the Tufa. Actually, you got a couple Texas teams here in the top 10 that could easily, maybe jump that number one spot, depending on how good football they play. However, all these teams won't stay undefeated, right? All these teams won't stay undefeated. So at the end of the day, we're going to see how it all shakes out. But right now, these guys are the front runners for the number one seed for the 3A National Championship. So it really, really, really good shout out to them. And a shout out to the South Florida Wolverines, because they played them hard. They played them hard. They gave them their best shot. But again, for another year, it just wasn't enough. So, and then, so again, congratulations to them. Now, looking at these rankings here, when we put these out a few weeks ago, I think the 25th, it's our third poll. And as you people can see, things are tightening up. Some teams have dropped. There was a lot of losses from the last poll in the top 10. Some unexpected losses. For example, the Bayou Cardinals, they took an unexpected L. The Wolfpack, I think they beat the Texas Ravens for the first time, if I'm not mistaken, jumping them. The Tomahawks, RBA Tomahawks, they took 2 losses. They were in the top 5. They took 2 losses, and that lowered them down to, I think, 16. So it's been a whole lot of movement in the last few weeks. Also, there were some games last week where a few teams that we're used to seeing in the top 10 also took a loss, like the Texas Stampede. They took a loss. So last year they won a national title, national bowl game rather, and now they're going to probably be out the top 20. So it's a crazy field, Joey, and you can't always predict how this is going to end up. But right now, the Gladiators, they're number one, and maybe they'll pick up some gains in between there to kind of strengthen their bid. But right now, that's where they sit. Anything you want to add to that, Joey, before we move on to these 2A games?
A lot of undefeateds right now, still at the very top. You got about 6 teams at the top undefeated. The Gladiators, obviously the best resume, or Gladiators, as it says on here. Sorry, Crow.
Typo.
All good. I always got to call it out. 12-1 a year. Congratulations for the run. Did they have a long winning streak? Did they win the previous season? I'm a little unfamiliar with that league.
What league is that?
The FFA.
Yeah, I believe they did. They I think because they had to, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they finished the 2020 campaign because of COVID. And I think they beat the South Florida Wolverines in the 2019 campaign. So I believe they're 3-time champions back to back, or they won 3 out of the last 4. I forget the exact statistic, but they definitely won 3. This is definitely their 3rd win.
Curious to see how many games in a row they've won, considering the undefeated mark this year.
Right, yeah. We'll look at that. We'll probably look that up. I know they played some tough games through the course of the season. There's a couple games where they barely got by, but sometimes I'd rather barely get by than not get by at all.
Facts, absolute facts.
Yep. Let's go to some big games coming up this weekend. So we got 2 sets of championship games coming up on the 2A side.
Where you rankings first, or
you want to go to the rankings first?
Let's talk about the rankings first, then mention the matchup.
Okay, well, here we go. So here we go. We got the 2A rankings. Like I said, we didn't get a chance to show them last week. However, this is a tighter. As you can see, this is a little bit tighter than the 3A side, because you got some teams with some losses in the top 10. You got some teams without losses, kind of hovering in the middle, hoping to move their way up as their season progresses. But this is a little bit tighter, it's a little bit cleaner and clearer as far as who's going to be where. However, there's some very important championship games coming up this next weekend. But first, like I said, the number one team on this side is the Fayetteville Ducks. And of course, we're going to talk about them in a second. They got a championship game coming up. You got the Airedale Warriors with a championship game coming up this weekend. I believe the Bold City Thunder, and I just remembered that they have a championship game, and we'll get their flyer up and I'll put it on the page in a little bit. But the Bold City Thunder also have a championship game coming up this weekend. So I think the 2A side is going to clear up a whole lot sooner than the 3A side, because, like I said, all the championship games seem to be coming down the pike, and we're able to make some predictions on who's going to play in what game and how that's going to roll. And speaking of those championship games, now cue those up, Joey. Boom. So in the CFA, we have the Fayetteville Ducks against the Fayetteville Commandos, or it's the Carolina Ducks. Either way, both teams are in Fayetteville, right? So that shows that Fayetteville does have some talent. We got two teams from the Fayetteville area playing for a championship. I think they're going to host this game out of Charlotte. Let me look at Charlotte, North Carolina. So if you're in the North Carolina area and you want to see some good football, go see the CFA championship game. Their commissioner is Delzy Boyd. Go check that out. I think it's going to be a great action-packed game. I have my money on the Ducks, and I like the Commandos. Alan's a great owner, good guy. He's been around the game for a long time, and he really does deserve a championship. But I will say this, Coach Walter Ford has also been in the game for a while, and he's really turned that program around from when the first year, where I think they only won like 2 games, to now where they're undefeated going into a championship game. So both owners deserve it. They're both great guys, great coaches, but my money is on the Ducks. That's just me. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but my money's on the Ducks. And they're undefeated right now, and they're playing some really good ball. And then we got the Sifa. There we go, the Sifa Championship. And this is going to be held in Cornelius, North Carolina. I do not know which part of North Carolina that is, but that's where the game is at. So if you're in the Cornelius, North Carolina area, go check this game out. The gates open up at 4:30. You got the Kings Mountain Forge, who were a champion. I believe they won the CFA a few years back, if I'm not mistaken. And then you got the Airedale Warriors, who's always a top team on the 2A side. I believe they won a NFE game, national game, the 2A NFE National Championship this past January. So this team is always at the top. This team is always pushing the envelope, and they want to win this championship, and they want to challenge other champions after this. So this team is about their business. I believe they're coaches by Coach Torrey, if I'm not mistaken. And my money, even though I like the Kings Mountain Force, my money's on Airedale. They're undefeated. They mean business. They're serious. And I think this is going to be a good game as well. Again, if you're in the Cornelius, North Carolina area, go check these boys out. What's your money on, Joey? Come on, give me a prediction. I know you don't know the teams all that well, but just from –
I'm going to go Commandos in the first game. Had a chance to take a look at them at Sunshine Bowl. Liked what I saw there. I think they'll get the dub here. As for the other game, it's going to be a toss-up for me. I'm going to go with the Iredale Warriors. Basically, because they have the same name as my high school team.
Sometimes you got to go with those omens,
And my flag team, too.
Makes sense to me. All right, so that's the catch-up on everything that we've been tracking and all the games. Again, congratulations to all the teams that are going to the championship games when you play your best football this Saturday. Congratulations to the FFA champions. Also, congratulations to the FCFL champions, the Broward Outlaws. Yep, you guys won the championship this past weekend as well. Congratulations to you guys. I just didn't get your stuff and give it to Joey to put it up. Congratulations to you guys. And congratulations to everybody that's starting their playoffs this weekend. Sore subject for some, but congratulations to those who are starting their playoffs this weekend. And good luck, and may you play your best football. Speaking of sore subjects,
yeah.
We have our special guest this week, Mr. R.J. Parker, commissioner of the XEFL, up-and-coming league. Took over the commissionership last year, has really done a lot to up the profile of the league. Had 2 teams participating in nationals. Yeah, they fell short, but he got them there, and he did what he had to do as a commissioner. Welcome, Mr. R.J. Parker. What's up, man?
Thank you, man. I see the body blows that you blew in there, but it's all good though. They go both ways, right? They go both ways.
Oh man, listen, my house is definitely a glass house right now.
Yes, sir. They definitely go both ways. I mean, I think mine's is out there a little bit more, you know. So I really don't know what happened to your team.
Oh, so the topic tonight, everybody, before we get too deep into it, the topic tonight is leagues, right? We're going to talk about leagues. Of course, like I said, RJ's he runs the XCFL. I used to run the ECFA. I'm taking a break from that. And there's a lot of things going on right now with leagues. And RJ hit me up and said he wanted to talk about it. So that's why he's on tonight. We're going to talk about leagues, and we're going to talk about process, right? How they go about doing their business, what's good business, what's bad business. And we're just going to have a conversation and kind of air some things out and see if we can maybe come to some resolution, or maybe we're just venting. I don't know where the show is going to take us. I don't know where the show is going to take us, but that's what we're doing tonight. So, RJ, so let's talk. I'm going to start with you because I'm the host. So I'm going to start with you, and then I'll fill in with my stuff maybe. I don't know. You know.
You got it.
I'm going to start with me. So a month ago, right? A month ago, we talked, and you said you're currently coaching the Cecil County Chaos.
Offensive coordinator for the Chaos.
Offensive coordinator for the Chaos.
Yep.
And we had a conversation about how well you guys are doing, how you guys changed that culture, how they went from basically the doormat team to one of the best teams in the ACFA.
Correct.
Number 1, number 2 seed, depends on how leagues do their standings. Cool. So basically a top team in the league. And what did I tell you, RJ?
You said it will be a miracle if you finish the season. Yeah.
So let's talk about it.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
you guys have been removed for the playoffs.
Yes.
Yep. That's deep. So what you guys do?
Well, the team didn't do anything. Let's just go ahead and put that out there.
Okay.
The Cecil County Chaos.
So let me get to this. So there wasn't anything that any player did to provoke anything. There was no player involvement in this.
No.
There was no fight. None of that. It's
no.
Oh, this is even more this is more crazy than I think. Go ahead.
So short story is, at the end of the game, we were triumphant. We won 32-8 versus the Blaze.
So let's stop right there. Let's break this down. Who are the Blaze?
The Blaze are run by John Young, who is the owner of the Blaze and the commissioner of the ACFA, president of the ACFA.
Okay.
He runs the ACFA, yeah.
Okay, John Young. Yep, we know John Young. Okay, keep going.
So at the end of the game, we did like any other thing. We met at the 50. We shook hands, and we were then led in prayer, and we went to go clean off our sideline. So as it's about 7 players left cleaning the sidelines off, and all of a sudden a unknown league official had some words with the head coach.
Unknown league official. What's an unknown league official? I never heard of that term.
Nobody knew who this league official was. He just mysteriously appeared.
So in the age of Zoom, he was never on the Zoom call with you guys. He was never formally introduced to.
That's problem number one. There was never a Zoom call this year.
Okay. I made an assumption. My bad. My bad. I didn't mean to make that assumption.
So what happens is our head coach is holding his grandson, and this unknown league official tells him, hey, you better have your shit together next week.
In those words?
Yeah.
Okay. So someone that you don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was another cuss word, but we don't need to be that graphic.
It's a family show. It's a family show. So an unknown man approaches another man holding his child and just starts spewing off things he needs to do.
Correct.
Okay.
So then our coach, he turns and was like, excuse me, what'd you say? And the dude said, you heard what I said. And so he started walking away, and he was like, yeah, you better walk away. And so then our coach hands his grandson to his son, and he says, hey, I'm gonna F you up. And then our EMS lady was there, and she came in front of our coach and said, hey, it's not worth it. Let's go ahead. And so coach came over, and that was it.
So that happened.
Yeah.
That happened. Some words exchanged, unknown official. So how did he get to the point where you guys had to be kicked out of the league, though? I understand that situation, and I understand if it's unknown official, some disrespect going on both sides. Sounds like a fine. Should be maybe a fine. I give you that. But how did it get to the point where you guys were removed from league play in the playoffs after an exchange of words?
Well, the final word that came back to me via text message was they just can't deal with the coach anymore.
But you got 3 weeks left.
Correct. So, we even, at the end of the day, he even offered himself up like, hey, if you have an issue with me, it's me. I'll remove myself from the sideline. I won't even attend the game. Just don't let my team, go down. And it was like, nah, they're out too.
So how many guys you got on your roster?
We have 53.
So 53-man roster. Yep. None of them did anything to deserve their season taken away.
Hey, let me tell you this. At the end of the game, 32 of them were in the parking lot eating ice cream. Ice cream truck pulled up. That's how peaceful it was.
Yeah, when the ice cream truck pull up and everybody go there, you're having a good day. Like I used say, today was a good day.
So I mean, that was our biggest thing. We were devastated to hear that news, because the thing is, the issue was it was on Facebook before we found out.
So communication. So there was a lack of communication in the situation.
The other teams that were left in the playoffs knew about it, but the team that was kicked out didn't. Yeah, people knew by 5:30. We got the call at around 8:45, 9 o'clock. So then
the rumor had already started, and y'all never got the confirmed news.
Correct.
Wow.
So then I was instructed to file an appeal.
Okay. Sounds good.
So we filed an appeal. We had a sheriff that was at the game. We had an EMS tech that was at the game. Then we had the coaches. Everybody wrote up lengthy their versions of the story. We sent them in, and it was a text message saying, yeah, we can't deal with the coach anymore.
3 weeks before, 3 weeks left, huh?
Correct.
So I'm gonna ask the questions that I just want to know. Who was this unknown? Who was this guy? Who was this commissioner? I mean, what has he been doing? Have you seen this guy before?
Never have seen him before. He is supposedly a part owner of the Keystone Predators, New York Predators.
All right, so I'm just asking. So you're in a league where the president has a team,
Uh-huh.
And the commissioners have teams.
Correct.
Okay. And so who is the tiebreaker in oversight for issues like this? Is there anybody without a team that can break these type of ties?
Not that was nobody was mentioned to me. So what happens is, I mean, if I can back up for about 3 seconds, the biggest issue was the president was at the field. It never addressed anything.
The league president. So this is some airy stuff because that's what happened to us. But anyway, so the league president was at the field. And who's the league president?
That's John Young.
That's right, because he owns the Blades.
Correct.
So the president didn't have an issue.
He never said anything to us. And like I said, we cleaned up our sideline. We had ice cream in the parking lot. We were there at least 2 hours.
So even 2 hours after the event. Wow. All right. So your season has basically been taken away from you.
Correct.
And you basically have no recourse within the league to get your season back.
No, because during the appeal process, we actually used the bylaws that were written, and we then regurgitated it back to them, and it just didn't matter. In their bylaws, it states you cannot get rid of a team or suspend a team for one person's action. That's what the bylaws state.
So there's a bylaw that says you cannot remove a team for one person's actions. So in this situation, let's say your coach, Kevin Coy, right?
Correct.
Is 1,000% wrong. Kevin, you are 100% wrong. If you're looking right now, you're wrong. But he's wrong. Let's just say he's wrong.
Okay.
You're wrong. But according to the bylaws, you should be playing this weekend.
Correct. I wish I had it queued up, ready to go.
No, don't worry about it. No, I'm gonna take your word for it. I'm gonna take your word for it because
I mean, now we can go with a similar but more violent action happened between the Williamsburg Colonials and the Red Devils.
I seen that on film. That was crazy.
So the Red Devil player came across the field, hit a Colonial in the face.
Yes, he did. I saw that.
He was only suspended 1 game. The Colonials head coach said, "Hey, it was a lot that happened, and we shouldn't go down there," because they had to play him the very next week.
Yeah.
The league was like, "Nah, you gotta go play."
So I seen that because that was at the Colonials field and they live streamed their games.
Correct.
So that whole incident was caught on live stream. I saw it. I was like, "Oh, that's crazy." And so there was a 1 game suspension for that, and probably a fine.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, cool.
But the team wasn't kicked out.
But the team wasn't kicked out because the bylaws say you can't kick a team, not for one person. All right, cool. So here's the thing: nothing we're gonna say here is gonna solve.
No, not at all.
Solve your issue. But this brings me to the point. Your story brings me to a point that I've been trying to get at for a long time. And that's competency in semi-pro leadership. How competent are our leaders, right? Because there's bylaws, right?
Correct.
There's and then there's common sense, right? And certain things you just don't do. Never once have I seen a team put out of the NFL for issues. I've never seen it. Joey, have you seen it? I haven't seen it. You know, Let's take the New England Patriots, who's probably broken every NFL rule there probably is. The Patriots have had Deflategate.
Yeah.
They've had the Spygate. They've had their owner was buying prostitutes. They had I think Torrey Smith was with them when he ran over a person. I believe they was with them. And they have Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
A lot has gone wrong with the Patriots in recent memory.
Correct.
The Patriots still have won Super Bowls through all that.
Yeah.
Now, once has the NFL even probably uttered or even fixed their lips to say, hey, this team got to go. They're causing us way too many problems. Ain't heard it. Ain't been on their minds. And that's because what I see in semi-pro minor league football is league ownership, league leadership who do not understand business and understand how to push their product.
Yeah.
It comes down to
most of the.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, it comes down
most
to
of the egregious things.
You go.
Most of the egregious things actually did happen from that organization, and that organization meaning the president's organization. Mm-hmm. So, that's been that was always the biggest issue. As you had said earlier, okay, yeah, Kevin might have mouth, but we did everything by the book.
Right.
I don't know a head coach that's not fiery, that's not passionate for their team. And that's all it was. Just passionate for his team. When he felt like his team was getting the short end of the stick, he said something about it. He tried to have vote. He tried to put it on Front Street. And, it just wasn't happening. And as you had said in the beginning, when the Chaos were getting beat by 40 points, nobody said anything.
So I think you guys threatened the pecking order. You went out of order. It wasn't your turn, per se.
Correct.
And again, it comes back to what you can't. Let me get into this real quick. Let me sit up a little bit. How can you run people's time, money, and effort if you don't have something to manage yourself? And what I'm saying is this. You can't expect a league to be ran well, managed well, and marketed well if the person who's supposed to be doing that doesn't have that already within their own personal business or personal life. See, experience is the sum of everything that you know. And the last thing you want is someone without that personal experience or nothing to lose themselves dealing with other people's time, money, and effort. And the reason why you never see the NFL kick teams out, because there's a bottom line. They're trying to accomplish something. And when something happens within the NFL, if we're trying to be NFL-like in a lot of these semi-pro leagues, we have to learn how to diffuse issues, handle issues, and take responsibility for our actions from a team level. What I see too many times in semi-pro minor league football is either incompetency by the league leadership, making decisions that make no absolute sense, decisions that really hurt their league, owners who don't own up to what their organization has done and wants to put it on everybody else, and the lack of loyalty to themselves and to the product.
Yeah.
It's too many times that I've heard over the years that this league is some beat, this league is some cut, this league is that, this league is this. If you're in the league, you're talking about yourself. Because you're some of that bigger part. So It comes down to all the levels. Leagues need teams, teams need players, players need leagues to play in. You need all the parts. And when one of those parts doesn't perform its function, this whole thing kind of gets unraveled. What I've seen over the last few weeks, last few years, is anytime I see a team get put out of a league, first thing I asked does it make the league better? By removing this team, is it going to make your league better? And if the answer is no, then what you have to do at that point is find a way to correct whatever issue you have. And then maybe in the offseason, you don't invite them back. But in that moment, don't make an emotional decision. Make the right business decision for the league and the team surrounding it. That brings me to a point.
Correct.
You have your issue with the chaos. People don't know. I coach DMV Knights. I don't own the team, but my friend, Davon Trowell, owns the team. DMV Knights were also put out of the playoffs. One of the best teams in the country on the spring side, currently 7-1, number 1 seed in the ACFA playoffs. They were put out their league. Now, the situation was a little bit more tenuous than yours. There was a fight. The DMV Knights had a fight on the field with the Tomahawks. Tomahawks, another top team in the country. It's a heated game. You got two top teams playing each other. Knights just scored. Some words happened. Couple punches. Broken up. More words. Broken up. Some ejections. Game was finished. Right? Some jaw-jacking. Boom. Game was finished. Everybody got home safely. Safe and sound. That's what happened. There's some other details in between that, but everybody went home safely. No issues. The league then goes and does the right thing, I feel, and they suspend some folks, throw some fines out there. Tomahawks pay their fine, didn't say a peep. They paid theirs, they went about their business. The league decided that the Knights deserved $800 in fines. $800 in fines. That's a lot of money, especially for the end of the season. They decided they needed to fine the Knights $800. I invited their commissioner on, but he didn't. I guess he didn't want to come on. We invited $800 in fines. That's a lot of money. First thing people say is, "Where's that fine money going?" That's a lot of money. You just fined the one team. I think they fined Tomahawks like $400, something like that, and then you're going to fine the team who did the exact same thing $800. They had their reasons. People didn't agree with their reasons. The owner of the Knights put in an appeal. Appeal went in. This is where you lose me. The purpose of an appeal is to try to get a lighter sentence. That's the purpose of an appeal. Either you say, I agree with your appeal and give them a lighter sentence, or you reject the appeal and you go with whatever was put out originally. The president of that league came back with, you're suspended for one game. How do you go from, not just you're suspended, the whole team is suspended for one game. And since that one game is a playoff game, you had a nice season.
Wow.
See you later. Wow. Yes.
Is that the bylaws?
That's definitely not in the bylaws, because I wrote those bylaws. That's not in there. That's not in there. It's not in there. It's not. I wrote the bylaws. The original bylaws, I wrote them.
Why don't you just say you're out of the playoffs?
Suspended the team for one game. Again, they had their reasons. I did invite the league president, Greg Flippins, to come on. He's been on the show before. He declined. So he can't defend himself. Sorry. But everybody I told this story to, they said that makes no sense. Davon put in an appeal, and he came back with, you gone.
So you went from 800 to suspended.
Yo, you want to pay the 800, huh? You don't want to pay the 800? I'll fix you. Don't pay it then. So,
wow.
Now here's the kicker about this. The DMV Knights right now are the longest standing team in the league. 13 years.
Correct.
13 years in the ECFA. Longest standing team. The face pretty much of the league. 4 league championships. 4 league championships. Working on 5. In my opinion, like I said, I'm not mad at Flip. I'm not mad at the commissioners. I'm not mad. I'm just not mad. My question, though, is, was kicking your 4-time champion, 13-year team out of the ECFA, was that the best thing for the league? What do you think?
Well, I think that's the same way the Chaos feel. We snapped a 37 win streak for the York Predators.
Mm-hmm.
Do you kick that team out? You don't kick out. You don't put Tom Brady on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
That's just that. You just don't do it.
You find a way to make sure they play. Right.
I mean, if you are willing to hand out a fine, then how does it go to suspension?
Bruh. Listen, I'm trying to figure that one out. So I'm like, wait a minute. That's not the purpose of an appeal.
But as we said from the beginning, that is the state of semi-pro right now.
Right.
I wrote it in a random rant moment. You know, it's like a kid letting you play with their toy and taking it back. Now you can't play with it no more. It's mine.
Yo,
yeah,
you're
it's
back
like,
on.
Why do you do that? And as you said,
this sounds politically motivated more than anything. Anytime you're trying to get a team kicked out of the league, there's more to it than just one incident. That's what we call the one thing you need to get out. And it's a shame, but that is a problem within a lot of sports on this level. And it's not even just in your all's game. I've had authority figures in other sports I've covered, I'm not going to say which ones, who talk about even trying to find ways to get rid of a team, ways to get rid of them. We had an incident in the league I was in last year where they sent someone to spy on a sideline just to make sure they didn't. That level of extreme. And it's a shame, but these so-called commissioners, these so-called leaders, these guys who walk around and say they're in charge, everything else, it's sad, but there's a lot of corruption in that department right now because they're not out for what's best for the players. They're out for what's best for their wallet, for their team, for them to win. They get scared of competition.
You said it. I did. You said it.
No, it's facts. It's facts, bro. I see it straight up. Teams are afraid of the smoke, as we say here in the flag world. They want no smoke. Whenever someone comes up that can beat them, they don't want to try to beat them. They want to find any way they can to get rid of them. And I watched the Cecil County Chaos last year. I was there when they played Brunswick back in October. You guys had a hell of a squad. I was at that game. We covered it. Hear this story about what's going on is a shame. That is an absolute shame. And I'm not surprised by the behavior. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
So I happen to think RJ runs the XCFL. I happen to think he's a very good commissioner. And here's the thing. You don't have to have all the answers as a commissioner, right? No. But you can ask questions to those who come before you. This is why I like RJ a lot, because when he truly doesn't quite know it, he'll give me a call. He'll give John Saplinski a call and say, hey, what do you think about this? He still makes his own decision, but at least he gets some experience and some wisdom before he goes and just does it, right? You don't have to have all the answers. I didn't have all the answers. When I was running ECFA, I will call certain people like, hey, what do you think? My man Dexter, you call Dexter Gervin out of MLF. I'll give him a call. Dex, I don't know what to do with this. And he'll give me his experience. And I don't understand why people in these positions don't band together with other commissioners, other folks who are running the league, and just ask them, yo, what would you do? What would you do? Because sometimes they might get that piece of wisdom to say, hey, bruh, you should probably try to look at it, handle it this way. But I think, like you said, Joey, it's that power. They want to feel in charge. But the problem is you can't be in charge of nothing. Because if you run your top teams away and run your competition away, you're basically running your league away. Right?
Some guys don't view it that way, though. They just say, well, we won these games. We won our league. Therefore, we're good. They basically create their own kingdom to crown themselves champions in.
I really felt that, Joey, only because of the reason we reached out to each team. We reached out to each team and we said, hey, you know this isn't right. Help us make it right. But at the end of the day, you know, I'll go on record and say that there's going to be an easier road to the ACFA champion this year. That's just what it is. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. We are the only team, the Cecil County Chaos, that played all league games. So with all league games, that means we beat everybody. We beat everybody. You know, we had a controversial loss to the Baltimore Rams. They beat us, and then we came back and we beat them.
Right.
We beat everybody, you know. So the thing was, how do you take out the top seed? We were supposed to be number one, but we had a game. We had one more game than everybody, so they switched it to winning percentage. So if we're 5-1-1, we're not better than 5-1. So they had already put us to number 2. So we couldn't have the number 1 spot. So it was little things like that, you know. It was, how do you have a 6-7 game season and you got 4 bye weeks? You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and how can you legitimately say your team is better than my team if you ain't played as many games as me?
That's just what it is. But
I will say this. So the leagues that we mentioned here, so this is not a hit on y'all. I'm really honest, because we're live, we're on air, we're not hiding our faces. You see Parker, you see Crowell, you see Blaze. So we're not hiding our faces. And this is not a hit on you guys. I'm not trying to talk greasy about you. I don't want you to feel disrespected. We're talking about the issues, right? We're talking about the issues because at the end of the day, I want to see these leagues get better. I want to see them do better. I want to see people learn from, what I like to say, these mistakes, because these are mistakes that I think both leagues have made. Now, does it have to end the leagues? No, it doesn't. They can learn. ACFA is this resilient. No. ACFA is like a freaking cockroach. It won't die. It won't. So you might as well just bring them on. Come on, y'all. Just come on. Y'all are second cousins. So we don't. This is not the purpose of it. The purpose of this is to learn and to air this stuff out, because at the end of the day, I mean, you can't keep doing the same things. You can't keep letting this history repeat itself, because truth be told, ACFA, they had a little situation with me, 6, 7 years ago. If they don't have that situation with me and the Seahawks, we probably still be in the ACFA. We were the number 1 seed, and they found a way, you know what I'm saying, to remove us. The Gladiators, they were the number 1 seed, found a way to remove them. Maybe they were right.
Go back to 2011 when they got rid of the Pit Bulls.
The Pit Bulls, right. And this is a pattern of removing the best teams. Now, again, just for argument's sake, let's just say I was wrong. Let's just say I was wrong. I was wrong, RJ. The Seahawks have gone on to win national championships, more league championships. Why wouldn't you want that team saying we're in the ACFA? Why wouldn't you want that team to say we're in the ECFA? Why wouldn't you want us representing your brand? You're a good daggone team. The Chaos are a good daggone team. The Knights are a good daggone team. So does it make league branding, marketing sense to remove these teams?
It definitely doesn't. And I have to go back once again and harp on something. I did not come on here to air people out. I wanted people to understand why I was so damn mad. We had guys that have been working from January. You get what I'm saying? January.
6
From
months.
January until now, you had young men that were putting their lives on hold to play football. You had some people changing their lives. And me being one of the faces, if I tell this young man that he can do better and things can go well, just do the right thing, and they do the right thing, and then this happens, you get what I'm saying? It's like, Coach Park, you lied to me. We did what you told us to do, and this happened to us. That's my issue. What about these young men? Because the chaos is averaged out at 25 years old, from 18 to 25, that young team. So the thing is, you look these kids in the eyes and tell them, hey, as long as you do the right thing, things will be okay. And no. Now that is my issue. That has been my issue.
That is the other side of the coin. We talk about the teams, the team owners and stuff like that. But you're right. These players come to practice, pay their dues, league registration, whatever it is that they got to pay. They work every day. And then they come out to football practice, and then they come out to the games. They deserve their right to finish.
Correct.
These players deserve the right to finish. Whether that, only one team can finish a winner, right, at the end of a season. But you deserve the right to go out the way you're supposed to in this game. And that's shaking hands on the 50.
Yeah, they took that opportunity away from them. They took their choices away. That was my biggest thing. And to end that part is they took away a great national run.
Right.
They took away a great national run. The Chaos had never been nationally ranked before. They put in the work. They did what they were supposed to do. You get what I'm saying? And now, these guys are reading, hey, well, it says the criteria, we're not meeting it. So that's 1-1 right there. Like, I can try, but that's it.
Well, I mean, exactly. I mean, with the Knights, one of the best teams in 13-year history, 4 champions, that's a team, if they win your league, you want them in nationals. You want to have those guys a part of that, but they can't now. It's, even though I'm on the board, I can't go by. I can't shake the rules. I can't shake the rules. I mean, Jesse, God rest his soul, Mercedes Wiggins, they wrote these rules and we follow these rules to a T. And it's just a shame that you possibly won't be seeing the best we can see in July.
Correct.
It's a possibility
and
you won't see.
Shame.
Now, I'm not going to say it was a guarantee that the Chaos are going to win a championship. Not a guarantee, and it wasn't a guarantee that the Knights were going to win a championship. There's no guarantees because any given Saturday. But at the end of the day, they had just as good a shot as any. Man, good show, powerful show. I hope people got a lot from this show. I hope folks that we mentioned in this show don't take it personal. And if you do, you can meet me at the 50 and put your team on the field and we can settle it that way. But what I hope is that we start to learn as a community from these mistakes. I hope each league rebounds and have a good end to their spring season and they crown a champion. But at the end of the day, let's stop doing things that don't make sense. Let's use some common sense in some of these judgments, and let's go ahead and not be so focused as owners on winning so much as far as wins and losses. Focus on your product. Focus on how you look every weekend. Focus on making sure you got guys at the field. Focus on a good stadium so you can get a gate. Focus on your concession. You can win 90% of what you need to win on Saturday before your team even touches the field. As an owner, you focus on all those other areas to win, right? And then the culmination of that winning is on the field. But as an owner, we have to stop stabbing each other in the back. All this petty pat, all this talking about this guy to talk about that guy. You owners are in business together. And when you realize as an owner you're in business together, the league officials that you appoint have to do better. because they know you guys are not going to have it. Roger Goodell is never going to be able to kick the Patriots out because there's 30 other guys or gals in that owner's room saying, Roger, you done lost your daggone mind if you think you're going to kick our business partner out of here. That's why they have a ground and power. That's why they can control things in the NFL, because no matter what they do, no matter what happens, they understand it's business. We're in business together, owners. Understand that, and your leagues will get better. Stop stabbing each other in the back. There's no way the owners in the ECFA or the ACFA should have let those teams be kicked out. Because it's more you than it is them. And it's your money who funds the league.
And on top of that, if you don't stand up for a team being pushed around like that, who's going to stand up for you? It can happen to any team, any moment. All it takes is one person to decide how they feel one way or another.
So that's our rant for the day. Appreciate Joey. That was powerful. Jeez. That was powerful, Joey. But that's my rant. That's our rant. RJ, I appreciate you coming on the show today, brother.
Thank you.
Good luck in the XCFL this year. You guys have a great slate of teams. I'm proud of you. You've really done a lot with that. And I'm looking forward to catching a few of those games. And Joey, enjoy your weekend, brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Looking forward to chilling in the garage, watching some football all weekend long.
All right, y'all. So if you got a problem with anything we just said today, you know where you can meet me.
Meet us at the 50.
All right, y'all. Good night.